Well, just got to work about 15 minutes early, as usual. So I got some time to kill, which I pretty much do every day because I get here early every day. But I don't always feel the need to just come out here and do a video for the afternoon little bonus, if you will. Unless it's kind of important or very important. And, you know, not sure if anyone's paying attention, but I thought the media and the shadow government was against Trump when he was running for office. I mean, it was obvious. Then he won. Miraculously, he won. Put some people in his cabinet. Drain the swamp. I don't know about that guy or that guy. Now they're saying McMaster, who he picked, is probably the one leaking some of this stuff or whatever. And now, you know, is there obstruction of justice when Trump met with Putin and this and that, and or not an obstruction, but did he leak classified documents or classified information to Putin? And according to Trump, well, it's simply we both have an enemy, ISIS and whatever, and we were talking about that, you know, same goal to eradicate this thing. Which, of course, ISIS, as I told you, isn't just this group that came up by themselves and called themselves ISIS. We named them ISIS. We called them the Free Syrian Rebel Army. The good guys and people who want to overthrow Assad and do good for their people. Which, again, the reality is when you actually talk to a Syrian citizen, it's the opposite. No, those are the terrorists. We don't like those people. So you can see why the deep state would say, oh, that's he's giving classified information. Oh, you mean classified information like your shadow group, people that you hire with all this money, drug money and laundering and everything else that the CIA does? Trump knows what it is, and he knows we're going to have to now eradicate this beast creation that we, America, created, essentially. But you and I didn't create it. The shadow government created it. So, of course, the Democrats on the left, oh my God, he's going to be impeached. Get ready for impeachment. It's coming. Now we're saying, he had this conversation with James Comey, former FBI director that he recently fired. Back when Michael Flynn was under investigation, they were going to let him go, again for, same crap, meeting with a Russian official, but he wasn't quite in the administration yet. So because he did that early, whatever, got to get rid of him. And I guess, allegedly, one of the notes from James Comey that he kept after the conversation with Trump was Trump saying, hopefully you can look past this, or hopefully you can, I'm trying to think of the exact word he used. Hopefully you can be done with this, or something, But the next line's not really told. What was meant, what are you, So that's what the media is going with. Oh, he tried to get him. He tried to get him to obstruct justice. Really? Obstruct justice? You don't say. That's funny. See if I still have this email that I meant to do a video on. About James Comey and the history of him and the Clintons going back years and years and years. Then we have this other thing first before I even get to that. DNC staffer Seth Rich, remember the guy that I immediately said this kid was murdered because he leaked the documents to WikiLeaks. He's the one. For sure, we know this. But WikiLeaks, we won't tell who gives us stuff. We got to keep that quiet. I understand. Okay. But that don't change my mind. He did it. And he was supposed to be meeting with the FBI a little bit later that day. That's what we were told. Because he had some information he wanted to give them. And there was 2 cops nearby at 4 o'clock in the morning. Hear a gunshot. They go over there. He's lying on the floor dead. Well, allegedly, these cops have body cameras. And what I just found out, allegedly, is that he was still alive and was taken to the hospital and died at the hospital. So these cops got body cams. What did he say to them? And the family hired a third-party private investigator who was a former detective or something like that, investigator for the police department, the D.C. police, I guess. And they're saying now that he is saying there looks like what I took when I read this as there's like a mob mobster type of thing going on, criminal activity within the police department that are part of this. What? So A, he's supposed to meet with the FBI and the police just happen to be close. I wonder who shot him. A, FBI called him. Hey, listen, I know we're supposed to meet later. Let's meet now. Can you come now? I mean, it was 4 a.m. What's this guy doing up at 4 a.m.? Remember that? It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. What the hell are you doing at 4 a.m. outside your house? Unless the FBI called and said, hey, we need to meet with you now. Okay, I'll come out now. And then they took him out. Now, you do recall the Boston Marathon bombing, the Sarnoff brothers. They did it. They had the black backpacks. They did it. That's funny. All the FBI there, before they put on their clothing that said FBI, had black backpacks. And there were some military contractors, 3 of them, I call the Three Stooges, who were also present on video. There's pictures of them there at the event. And they're the same 3 guys who just so happen to be Sandy Hook police officers. Newtown, or they were the state police officers that showed up. Same 3 guys. You don't say. Anyways, that's a different story. The FBI went to Orlando, Florida to meet with a friend of the Sarnoff brothers. And the story changed no less than 3 or 4 times. He went to attack me, I had to shoot him. Well, he had a knife and then went to attack me, then I shot him. He was reaching for a knife and then I had to shoot him. And the FBI was assisted by a couple of police officers, but when he went in to talk to the kid in the house, the police officer stayed outside and the FBI agent went in and blew the kid's head off. But he was attacked. The kid attacked him, Or did the kid know something he wasn't supposed to know, and he's now a liability, and we've got an official story to tell the American sheeple, and this kid stands in the way. If he blabs his mouth, we got to take him out. I'm just asking, is that a possibility? Speaking of the FBI, it was also the FBI that murdered a bunch of Branch Davidians, at the Waco massacre. It was a few FBI agents who murdered the people at Ruby Ridge, the mother, remember that? Etc. So I want to just throw a couple of examples where there's been some very, very bad deeds by the FBI. Anyways, A, FBI met him early, took him out, Seth Rich. B, the corrupt police department, as this investigator said he feels he's found, did the deed, not the FBI, because they gave them the call, and they went down there. Again, if they've got body cam footage, we want to see the body cam footage. We also want to see GPS information. Where was that car when this happened? Number 2, I want months and months and months worth of these GPS location prior to that day, so we can see where that police car was on every single morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, or whatever specific time this happened, to see if by chance this cop car has never been over there when this event happened and just so happened to be there this time, right? There's a lot of stuff you can find out. You just got to ask the right questions and ask the right stuff for when dealing with the Freedom of Information Act request, which I'm sure this investigator knows all too well. So the family's now come out, well, we don't know, we're not saying that we believe that, we don't know yet, we don't know. But the investigator himself allegedly has come out and said that. Fox News was running this. So we have all this stuff from, devastating potentially to the shadow government coming out right now. And what happens every time something big like this comes out and they need to hush it up? Stop having people focus on this and turn their attention over here. Some crazy event. Could be a terror attack. Could be another massive school shooting, or also known as a hoax in many instances, or some other event. To take your focus off of that and put it over here. So coincidentally enough, at the same exact time, they are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at going after Donald Trump to get him impeached, to get him taken out, etc. And I heard on, what's his name, Roger Stone, the one who's been all over this with Trump since day one, got poisoned, remember, got poisoned by the elite not that long ago. They poisoned the guy, he still survived. If he's nobody, right, if he just doesn't know what he's talking about, why is he being poisoned? Okay. Nonetheless, he was just outside with Alex Jones, like downtown somewhere in Texas. Not sure where they were at. Maybe it was in another state. Who knows what they were doing. But they were talking for about 10 or 15 minutes. And Roger Stone said, listen to me very carefully. I've got people on the left, the far left, who leak me stuff. Because some of them, even though they're leftists, don't agree necessarily with what's happening. But he said, I've got people on the inside and even on the far left telling me. He says, you heard it here first. Mark my words, you heard it here first. They're going to try to go after this man, Trump, via the 25th Amendment or whatever the hell it is, where he's not, he's incapacitated to some level mentally, Alzheimer's, something. I think that was the word he used. He said, mark my words, you're going to start to hear, because he said all it takes is people within his administration, his cabinet, to say, hey, we think this guy has got some mental, some problems up here. He's not fit. Well, it's his cabinet, right? That means it's the people he picked to be in his cabinet. And like I said, if he's picking McMaster's and he's picking Goldman Sachs, he's picking second Goldman Sachs to be in his cabinet. And the oil guy, Rex Tillerson, right? The oil man, this is all club, right? It's all club members. What do you think they're supposed to do, or what do you think they're going to do? Yeah, he made a bad decision when I was with him in Russia, and he talked to President Putin over there. Yeah, I think he made a bad decision there. Sometimes when we're alone, he does this or says this. Again, they could just make anything they want up. And they're all going to say, yeah, I saw it. I swear under oath, he said these things, and he's, we tried to advise him differently as his trusted advisors. He still didn't listen to us, and like when we told him to bomb the hell out of Syria, and he chose to bomb basically an empty airfield. We wanted him to really go after Assad, and he didn't. So, yeah, he's got some real mental problems, that guy. So Roger Stone is saying, and this was his quote, basically, mark my words, get ready to hear the word Alzheimer's, brain problem, 25th Amendment, and they're going to try to take him out. Right at the same time, okay, so he just said that. I watched that yesterday, and today's video is today, today being Wednesday. You're going to see this Wednesday a little bit in the afternoon. So they got that. They've got him now. Oh, he's leaking classified information to Putin, which is nonsense. Discussing terrorism and how we can take him out. Oh, that's highly classified. Even if it's... Because here's the thing. Something can be classified, but not a matter of really national security as far as, For example, if we had this highly advanced technology, let's just call it UFO technology, anti-gravity technology, and we now can blink and be on the other part of the Earth and blink back and be back where we were, which would normally take hours to happen. Even flying one of the fastest jets we have, it'd take hours. And now we have this technology, and on the board of this technology, we have all kinds of goodies. We don't need missiles and things anymore. We've got, EMF pulse, weapons. We can knock stuff out of the sky with EMF pulses, knock out the electrons. I'm just going to make some stuff up, which you probably are thinking, well, this may not be made up. Well, whatever. And he decided to have a little side chat with Putin over there and tell him about this great technology we have. And it does this, and it can do that, and it can do that, so we can take out ISIS. Well, I got a problem with that part. That would not work well. You just let them know what awesome, unbelievable technology we now have. You told the potential, which was a former enemy back in the Cold War days, this new incredible technology we have, that's not good. Right, so I can see that. However, if we know ISIS is in Syria, we know it's in these two towns or whatever mainly, and this is their main stronghold, but that's classified information at the moment. But our enemy is also Putin's enemy. We've already seen him demonstrate that that's definitely their enemy. And when Trump got on board, that was the same enemy. For some reason, when Obama was in charge, nope, that's the Syrian rebels. Those are good guys. Remember that? Which we all know is bullcrap. So if Donald Trump were to tell him, yeah, we have intel that's telling us they're in such and such city in Syria, and I think that's where we probably need to focus our forces on. And maybe Putin, yeah, okay, we can, you can do that, and maybe we'll go after them over on their second large stronghold. Who knows, right? I would not even kind of have a problem with that. So we have to be real careful. He leaked classified information. Do you remember Hillary Clinton leaking a pretty bad piece of classified information during the freaking campaign when her and Donald Trump are, on stage and they're fighting, she's fighting desperately to tell the American people, this is why you need to vote for me. And Donald Trump's, wrong. No, wrong. Right? Remember that? Remember those days? And she comes out and talks about how our weapons, nuclear weapons, I think she said it was either 3 or 4 minutes, if I recall. It'd take us from the time that we got the command, 3 or 4 minutes to launch. Again, I think it was 4 minutes. And I'm thinking, you moron, you already said something the other day that we were all over you about for saying something that you should not have said that was potentially classified. You did it again! You did it again! I remember saying that. I was talking to Frank that same day. Frank, he's like, did you see that last night? Yes, I saw it. Are you kidding me? She leaked a very important piece of classified information that it takes us 4 minutes to get our stuff ready. Now, any enemy on the face of the earth knows it takes America to get 4 minutes to get ready to do any kind of counterattack. So if we attack them, now we know we've got some extra time, potentially, before they can even do anything about it. Oh, we know exactly how much time. 4 minutes now. Thanks, Miss Clinton. And would the left say, oh, it's not a big deal. It's nothing. No, it's nothing. And you're saying this is something. Oh, this is definitely something. He leaked some classified information on Putin. What did he leak? We don't even know what it is yet. Again, mainstream media, the shadow government, they are on him so bad right now. And now the Seth Rich thing came out. D.C. police might be involved in this murder cover-up. FBI potentially as well. And if he just got rid of the head FBI guy, they're probably in an absolute sheer panic mode. Oh my God, the information that we have to keep, records that we never had a problem keeping because we would make sure everybody in our club, somebody in our club was always FBI director as well as some of his lower level echelon, to where nobody would ever see those documents. We would keep a good cover over those. Now he's gone. We're in panic mode. All the stuff, maybe Sandy Hook stuff, who knows? Maybe the Boston Marathon, maybe Timothy McVeigh from '93 bombing of the Murrah, whatever it's called, Murrah building, Oklahoma City. I mean, who knows what's in there? That the new guy could potentially say, you know what, look, can I see this and this and this? And then finds out his mind is blown when he really sees some information that no one ever, got to see through, in the light of day. But I'll be honest, I don't even think that kind of stuff is on any of these people's radar right now. That's not even the gist of it. I think they're realizing he is dismantling. Like I told you, I said this before he was elected. I said, there's not a chance in hell the elite will let this man get elected. There's no way they'll let him, they'll allow this. But if he is elected, by some chance, and I said then, I'll still say it, in my opinion, he ain't going to last. I said, I don't even know if he'll be able to walk in on day one of the, in January. They're going to probably do something to him, or either A, take him out, or fraudulently get him out of there. He cannot last. They have got to get rid of this guy. So it's just past his 100-day mark, right? 100 and whatever days we're on now. And we've got some of the biggest scandals, murder, suicide stuff. Clinton's again back in the scene. Classified intel. I mean, they are going after this guy with everything they've got. Now all they need, according to Roger Stone, is the inside cabinet to start saying this guy's got mental issues, he's got early stages or whatever, Alzheimer's. And we're all going to say, how the hell is that possible? This guy has built an empire. Real estate empire, businesses. This guy is a genius in that respect. Talk about an entrepreneur. That respect. But all of a sudden, he's got early stages of Alzheimer's, and we're going to have to invoke the 25th Amendment. And look, here's his cabinet. He picked them. Yeah, like I said, Goldman Sachs, club member, shadow government member. Yep. And they're all going to say, yeah, he's got problems. Except for the one, Bannon, Steve Bannon. The Breitbart guy? The one that he basically kicked out of his cabinet now, took away his national security credentials, basically, to leave the swamp around him. Probably on advice from the swamp. And I bet Steve Bannon will be the only one, if this happens, like Stone says, Roger Stone says, Steve Bannon will be the only one that says he's absolutely, completely fine. This is an attempted coup by these insiders to get rid of the president, an elected president by the people. The people have elected him. And I don't think anything's wrong with him at all. But you're only one out of 8, 9, 10 people. So we got to go with the big time majority here. We believe them. We're going to take them out through the 25th Amendment. Let me just say this again, because I did say this before too. I think of Baba Vanga, right? The seer, the woman seer. 44. She said this way long time ago, decades ago. The 44th president of the United States will be a black man. First black man ever. Isn't that interesting? She said it. She also said he will be the last, and that a terrible economic problem will occur during that time frame. So he's the last, then economic problem happens. So you might already argue, well, he's already president, even if he lasts 100-something days, or hell, 6 months, she's wrong. Well, looking at the stuff I read you every day, I don't know, that whole economic problem, I don't know if she's going to be wrong on that. However, if they take Trump out, technically, maybe you could say, maybe not technically, but Barack Obama did appear to be the last president because he didn't serve his whole term. So he didn't serve his whole term. Matter of fact, didn't even serve half. Matter of fact, didn't even serve a quarter. Does it really count? You could argue, whatever. But I will tell you this. I'll be cracking open the John Teeter story again, like I did before, parts 1 through 4. Do you realize I looked at that the other day? I found it on my channel. I was looking for something. Oh, there's Teeter. Oh, that's my video. Thing had 100,000 views. Holy crap, that's incredible. 100,000 views. Wow. But it will be time to crack open the John Teeter story and read it again if that man is removed from office. Remember what he said. What started the Civil War? Like, why did the Civil War really start? He replied, a problem with the elections. Think about it. Problem with the elections. We elected this man regardless of his brain or anything. We want him to be our president. We elected him. And now he's taken from us. And not only is he taken from us, he's not even taken from us from the left, like as in the left people, the left-leaning liberal, democratic liberal view. He's taken from us from the government. Again, the deep state is embedded throughout the entire government. They are the government. They are the government. So they will have taken him from us, which means they are the enemy, which is funny because that they being the enemy is the same they John Teeter said was the enemy. And he said, when you see all these cool little gadgets and these new weapons that we have to fight the enemy in the future, when they say enemy, they're talking about you. That's what he said. But he also said there'd be a problem with the election, and the president at the time, he/she, such and such. Which is why I always thought, he/she. Well, funny enough, we've never really had a woman run for president. I don't know about super long ago history, but I don't even think so. I don't know if there's ever been a woman who really ran. And I know we've had a couple, third party, whatever. But boy, was one close getting it, who's ready to be elected, who was practically going to be elected, and that was Hillary. During a period of time that would have jived with John Teeter saying that he/she president. So, anyways, Donald Trump's removed, then Pence, of course, would essentially take over. And I said from day one, I don't know, this guy Pence, a lot of his views are completely different than the president's. Why is he picking him? I said that when I first found out. What he's picking him, his point of view of everything politically, war, everything is different from Donald Trump. So, John Teeter allegedly, according to the lawyer in Orlando, Florida, that handled his parents or the people living here now, that is his family. This was back in 2000 or so. He said on a few occasions, yes, I can assure you the family that was here lived in this area, generally speaking. They hired me to do some, will work or something. That I forgot what his real reason was for being hired. Family will, or again, I don't remember. And he said, I can assure you that they've moved out of the state of Florida now. That John Teeter told them to do so. And they live in Omaha, or near Omaha, or in Omaha, Nebraska, which, according to John Teeter, is going to be the new capital of the United States of America when this big war goes goes over and is ended. And that a farmer with a shotgun in one hand and a Constitution in the other hand, like a statue's built of the guy. And I believe that guy was the leader from Omaha, Nebraska, which is why they made that the capital in the future. But the lawyer did say, I can assure you they've moved from Florida to there. I'm not giving you their names. That's off the record. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have them contact, etc. And at one point, he called her on his cell phone to talk to the mom and had a regular phone, a desk phone, talking to Jeff Rance or somebody, or maybe it was Coast to Coast AM, somebody, to basically ask questions to relay to her, and he would ask her, okay, yeah, okay. And it was interesting, some of her answers, but it was like, how did you know it was him? How did you know it was your son? How could you believe a guy that's a man now when he's really 2 years old in your time? And she's like, I can only just tell you, there's a bond between a mother and her children that is, created when you give birth. And when I saw him, I already knew. I knew it. I could feel it. And she said, and even though he gave us ample proof, even my husband, who needed it the most, the proof, my husband still has a hard time believing it. And he showed us every piece of proof you could imagine, you'd ever be able to imagine, tell you things like that, But anyways, I will be firing up that story if this man is removed as president. At any time, as a matter of fact, during his first term, if he can't even go through his first term. So maybe he skates through this year, next year starts, and they nail him next year somehow, whatever. As you can see, the pressure's on right now. I mean, big time. And I'm going to tell you something that I said before. If that happens, I will absolutely make do everything in my life to get ready to move to Omaha, Nebraska, or in that general area. If that's where John Teeter's family went, and this crap goes down, and our president's removed basically against his will, he didn't really do anything wrong, but his surrounding cabinet says he's got a problem up here, so we need to take him out. Then I'm out. Even if that's not the reason, and they take him out somehow or another, remove him from office. So anyways, it's time for me to go into work. And yeah, I will make every effort to move to that. And even if the timing's not right, like silver's still low, Bitcoin's not high enough, I'm not going to be able to buy a house outright. Even if I sell my stash, it's not good enough for a down payment for me. I don't want that. I need bigger prices. I will go up there, wife, Evelyn, go, let's do this. You're going to get the mortgage in your name. You got fantastic credit. And almost 2 years ago, I decided to switch every advertisement that comes up in these YouTube videos. When you set it up, who do we pay, whatever, I put my own information, obviously. And I said, well, wait a minute, let me switch it to hers, so it looks like she's making the income. That way, if she ever has to get a house, she has income. But if you're self-employed, you really need to be doing something for 2 years before they'll give you a loan. Well, that's funny, because as of 2018, January, she will have been doing this, quote-unquote, 2 years. At least this money goes in her name from these ads on YouTube, which should help, potentially get a house. It probably wouldn't be the most expensive house you ever saw, if you know what I mean, because especially since the YouTube advertiser boycott thing a couple months ago has been hurting all of us. But nonetheless, we may be able to get some little small house. I don't care. Just give me a couple acres, a little small house. I'm easy. In an emergency situation like this, which is what I would consider it, we're going to go, we're not going big time, we're going small time, because this is all we can afford with her income. Since she has the greatest income, and there shouldn't be a foreclosure on her record. Otherwise, guess what? We're going up there and we're going to rent. We'll rent until the prices do improve for silver, Bitcoin, etc. I can unload it, maybe buy a house or not, or put a giant down payment on something would be nice. But anyways, can't wait to see how this goes. It's not looking good though, I'm telling you now. Take care.